Oh, welcome. Oh, we have to do this. Welcome, everybody, on this call from Right Voice for You. Is now the time. Right Voice for You is one of the classes from Access Consciousness that has been created by Gary Douglas, the founder of Access. My name is Yasodhara Romero Fernandes, and I'm a certified Access facilitator, a Right Voice for You facilitator, and 3-day body class. Talk to the entities as well. And these Right Voice for You classes are just such a magical room to play in. So I thought, why not do a call tonight where you can join and just taste the energy. A lot of people are often not quite sure what this class is, what this energy is. Some people tell me, like, once they start choosing for this class, suddenly they lose all their words. They don't know how to speak anymore when they want to actually communicate with people. So how many times do you have that? I was looking at the energy of this call, like, oh, it's now the time. And how often, like, when you have to actually bring forth your message, like, you're like, oh, where should I start? How can I bring forth my knowing? So this is one of the things that I've heard many people actually say. It's like sometimes when I have this really important message to bring into the world, I lose my words, or I suddenly start saying weird things, or I start writing weird things. I start being weird. I'm not me. So what will it take to actually be you in front of other people, even though you will be aware also of what's going on in their world? So one of the things with Access Consciousness is to start accessing you, to start accessing consciousness. And how often when you are with other people are you more aware of what's going on in their head than of what's going on in your head? Than what's going on in their body more than what's going on in your body. And if you don't acknowledge that, like, sometimes it becomes really complicated, like, to use that to your advantage. Once you just get how aware you are, you will be able to start using that. If you know that a lot of people in your audience or in your family are actually sitting up with their barriers like high up, and you try to actually get through to them because you really want to share something with them, or you want to communicate, or you want to connect with them, but you don't acknowledge that actually they're putting up a barrier, like a wall, how hard will you have to work to actually get through to them? That if you would just acknowledge, like, oh, are these people actually now able to hear what I have to say? Is now the time? Or should I actually take this to somewhere else first before we can deal with what's actually needs to be addressed? So everywhere, for all of you that you've been aware of things that went on in the world of the person or the group or the audience you were working with or dealing with, and you didn't acknowledge it, and it seemed as if you lost your voice, as if you lost your timing, as if you lost your knowing, your capacities. Can we destroy it and create everything you have concluded about you? Right, wrong, good, bad, book, portal, nature, its boys and beyonds. And this is we conclude so many things. How many of you, when something doesn't go like it should, you make yourself wrong immediately? Like, oh, I must have not done the right thing. I must have used the wrong words. What if 99% of the time that was actually not what was going on? Right, wrong, about book, bottle, nature, is boys and beyonds. So, what if now is the time to start expanding out? And to acknowledge you. Not for what you're able to do. And that's one of the greatest gifts in this class. There is a lot of exercises that we do, and a lot where you will be working like with different forms of art, on a stage as well, not all, sometimes all. So you can actually start playing with all the access tools and start to realize also that it's not only what you do that creates in the world, but the most important actual thing that you be is what creates in the world. The energy, the space, and the consciousness that you choose to be is what will create the results in your world. If you want to change results, if you want to change what you see in your business, if you want to change people that are showing up, want to grow groups, that kind of thing, what do you try to do? Do you try to get it right? Do you try to do things different? Or do you actually wonder, wow, what would I have to be to create what I'd like to see in my relationships, in my business, in my life? What would I have to be, and what am I refusing to be? Right, wrong, back, bottle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, there's, and if you have questions, you can come over here, or you can tell your translator in their chat, because there is, oh, do the Romanians have their chat? Do they have? Okay, they just start speaking Romanian in this chat. Cool. So is now the time to start asking and to start looking at what you're asking for and see if that's still enough. And everywhere you've been asking for more, for greater, in whatever area. Some people start asking for more money, some people start asking for more jobs, some people start asking for a greater relationship. Whatever you've been asking, how many of these asks are actually based on someone else's voice? Right, wrong, or back, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. So when you look at the right voice for you, this is not about trying to create yourself as the right voice, trying to find the right voice, but actually starting to look at, wow, do I have my voice? Even when I don't speak? Or do I get uncomfortable when I'm not speaking? Do I trust myself? Do I allow myself to actually not diminish even when I don't have words? And it's really interesting sometimes to look at, when you look at a table full of people, and if people don't ask questions, I'm just going to keep talking and we'll see. I'll just follow the energy. Some of it might address some things in your world and some of it might not. So please ask. Like if you look at a table full of people, like who has actually the most power? Who do people get most curious about? Is it like the ones that talk all the time? Or is it the ones that actually also allow themselves to be silent? Right, wrong, or bad, bottle, natures, boys and beyonds. So everywhere you've been making yourself wrong because you were maybe the silent type rather than acknowledging the power you could have. If you would really carry that energy without diminishing it. Can we just try and create that? Right, wrong, or bad, bottle, natures, boys and beyonds. And a lot of these like points of views that we have on us, like how often are they actually created in our childhood? Through projections of other people around us, just projecting things at us. Like, for example, if you were a child that was just like off with the fairies, or you were just like very good on your own, how many adults will now have points of views about that and just think like, oh, she's very shy, or he's a very shy child. And all these kind of definitions, like, what if you could start acknowledging and start asking yourself, wow, was it actually what was going on? Or what was that just what adults were actually projecting on me? And did I now start taking on that voice and speak from there? Oh, I'm the shy lady. Oh, I never know what to say when I'm in a public, when I'm with people. So all the lies And maybe it's the total opposite. Like if you've always been very chatty and you were like very loud, how many people have been projecting on you? You're always so loud. Stop being so loud. It's annoying. And you start diminishing from there, or you start going out in all kind of other directions, but you actually are never present with you being and having access to all energies without any wrongness. Right, wrong, good, bad, pokeball, nature, it's boys and beyonds. Hi, Mary. Do you have a question, or did you just want to say hi? And I wanted to put on the lights before I started, and I didn't. Oh, is it really dark? It's kind of dark, right?
It's okay. I'm sorry, I have a question in the French chat.
Yes.
So it's Laetitia is saying expansion is so important. Then I don't get right away or other people's reality. We don't always have to do something with that. So is it acknowledging our capacity and that's it? Is it that?
I don't really get the question. Can you ask it differently?
Me either. Oui.
So what's your question?
Donc, Laetitia, quelle est ta question?
Right, wrong, bad, pokeball, nature, it's boys and beyonds.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pokeball, nature, it's boys and beyonds. Oh, sorry.
That, whatever she's looking at now, what is that? What is she looking at now?
She says, what do we do with what we perceive? What
That's
we get?
Actually a great question. What do I do with this? Have you had this moments where you're like, you come into this, you come like, I don't know, whatever you're, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put on, because this is not going to work for me, actually having it so dark here. So I'm going to take you into the room, smash my phone on the ground and put on the light. Let's see. That's better. Sorry, guys. Very professional. Awesome balls. So, how many of you have at least once in your life had so much joy in your world to go and do something, and then you enter in this room and actually nobody else is enthused? You're like, what do I do with this? How can I deal with this? What energy, what space, and what consciousness can I be to change this? And these are like questions, like with that question asking, and it's a bit tying into where where we left off just before, or before. Sometimes my before is not really before. Oh my God! Wow, this is funny. I totally lost it. This is interesting. Wow, this is cool. It's just gone.
When you get into a room and you have joy, and no one has joy.
No one else has that, or you're aware of other people. Like when you ask a question, do you allow yourself to just get the awareness, or are you looking for now what you should do? So everywhere you've looked and thought it was the do thing that would change things, rather than just asking a question and trusting that by you asking a question, the energy shifts. Can we destroy and create that? Right, wrong, bad, pokeball, nature. And that's really one of the greatest gifts of asking a question. Like, what do I do with this? What energy, space, and consciousness can I be? Can I change it? If it's light, okay, how do I change it? If it's heavy, okay, you might want to have the awareness like, oh, I can't change this. Now, what else is possible? Right, wrong, bad, pokeball, nature, because you will have audience where you're like, oh, this is not really, like where you get like, nope, not changeable. Okay, now how, like, what's next? What else is, certainly if you have to stay somewhere for a certain period of time, you might want to ask, okay, so what else is possible here? Is it a break? Is it something else? What do these people require of me? Right, Runker Bapak Shirts, Boys and Beyonds. And the moment you ask a question, you might sometimes already deliver what they actually require of you. So everywhere you've learned about the hard work for things to be able to move, shift, change, transform, what if there is a different possibility? And the funny part is, like, I got like the energy of sometimes it might get like heady with that, because like how often, like when you want to do something good or you want to do something right, this is where you get all heady and where impossibility starts now kicking in. So you might also want to start being aware where you go into this mode rather than, okay, wow, am I still being? Am I still perceiving? Am I still receiving? Or am I now going out into the do-do world? And how much does that actually take me out of being me? Right, wrong, good, bad, bad, bad. So everywhere you've learned that you have to, or you thought that you had to do something with awareness, will you now let that go? It's now the time to let that go. Right, wrong, good, bad, bad, which doesn't mean that it sometimes might be really uncomfortable. So everywhere you've tried to actually make yourself comfortable, rather than have awareness, can we destroy and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, bad, bad. And everywhere you've also been avoiding stepping into your greatness, so you wouldn't have to receive everything that goes beyond your comfort zone. Can we destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, bad. And that's the thing you also can look at if you want to grow things. Maybe it's your business, maybe something else. Like, okay, wow, with how many people am I comfortable? Like, how many people can I receive? And that's fun. I just started doing like a call for 30 days and the numbers went over like 60 for first time, like for 30 days. And I was like, whoa, I need to step up now. I need to demand something else from me to make this actually work for everyone. And I didn't know what that was, but it was just making the demand and starting to acknowledge like, wow, if you want to grow things, probably you'll have to step up and actually allow yourself and make the demand of yourself like, wow, no matter what it takes, I'm going to step up and I'm going to make this work. What do I need to be here? What energy do I have to put into this? So everywhere you've been asking for greater, but then not really been engaged to be what was required. Maybe that's presence, maybe totally something else. Is now the time. Right, wrong, good, bad, bad, shirts, boys and beyonds. This is an interesting energy. I see Selena smile. What is do-do world? The do-do world, I call the do-do world is where we start doing all kind of things. Like, you know, when you want to take care of someone, when someone isn't feeling good, that you go and do all kind of things for them rather than look at, hey, what can I be here? What energy, space, and consciousness can I be? Is that clear? Is that clear? Did that bring some clarity? Like, or when you think like, oh, my business isn't like growing now, like often we like, I've seen myself doing that a lot too. Like, it's like, oh, I need to do more. So we get more exhausted. And actually you, sometimes even your energy start draining away and your space starts shrinking because you have to do. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to be better. I've got to, but actually you start contracting all possibilities rather than looking like, okay, so what do I need to be here? And being doesn't exclude doing, but how often do we start excluding parts of our being when we start doing? And that's something you can start looking at. Unbelievable. Are you tuned into my life, Satch? Maybe. Well, I'm glad I'm tuned into one of you already. And it's really the gift of this class is that in totally unexpected ways, because there is a manual, a great manual full of clearings, full of exercises. But basically, we start a 3-day adventure that is based on the questions of the group. And what I love about this, and what I love also, what people get out of this, is that you start getting a sense of like, you don't have to be prepared. You are prepared. What if you, being on the planet, maybe with this body for the first time, but how many bodies did you have before? How many experiences have you lived before? How many energies have you been before? And once you start actually to acknowledge you, the being, what's true for you, where you have an awareness of all these lifetimes, where you have access if you choose to, you can just be somewhere and be prepared. And that's something that most of us have not learned. Most of us have not learned that we know, that we are prepared, that everything that comes your way, you're capable of dealing with that. If you're willing to ask questions, and if you're willing also to access to what you know. Right, wrong, or bad, boys and girls. And during these classes, it's very funny because there is a lot of laughing, and sometimes there's a lot of crying, and there is a lot of like everything. It's not only about speaking, about talking, it's also about like moving the body. Like, what if you could acknowledge, like, no, I'm going to ask a question. Like, how many of you, when you walk into a full room where you don't know anyone, do shrink? Now, how many of you know that by walking into a room, you change the energy? And this is not about like prancing around and like, I know, la, 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 whatever. It's truly, it's like, shrink, blush, yes. So, and it's really interesting, like to start seeing actually in this class, there is also an energy where we walk and where you actually start looking at, oh, what do I do? Do I actually, wow, what would change if I lower my barriers? Wow, even when it's intense, what changes also for everyone around you if you're willing to receive while you walk? When you're willing to receive while you talk. And there also, like a long time ago, people thought that it was really a singing class, and these tools are really amazing if you're a singer, or if you desire to sing more, or if you desire to have more joy with that. But also as a singer or as a person on stage, you can sometimes see that when, like, what's most fun when you go to a concert? Like, have you ever been on a concert where like people you start clapping because you thought it was awesome, and then you see the person on stage, they thought that in the second song, like 3 hours ago, they messed up, and then they will be like, oh, I didn't like the concert tonight, and they just go off, and they like kind of barely receive like your applauding. And then you're in the audience and you're like, oh, it was awesome. Oh, but they didn't, they don't think it's awesome. So maybe I'm wrong. What would it take for all of us, like no matter what or who your audience is, to actually acknowledge that through receiving, you can change someone's entire universe, even if they don't care. Even if they're not looking for that. What if you can start seeing where you stop receiving? And then lower your barriers and receive. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. Right, wrong, or bad, portal nature, boys and beyonds. And this is like, for me, it's a great gift to see people actually playing with that, start being the tools. Because if you've done like a lot of access classes, most of the people know all these tools. And when you start actually practicing them and you start playing with them and you see with the direct result what they create, it just gives this power and potency of us. where you cannot deny anymore who you are, even when there's stories running your life. They will kick in, you will see them, and once you see those kind of things, you'll have different choice. And it's like, very often it's just a question, like, it's now the time. It's now the time to get over myself. And maybe it's yes, maybe it's no. It's now the time to really step into my boots for walking and acknowledge that everywhere I come, that everywhere I be, even if it's like a simple 9-to-5 job that you hate, are you actually being something that allows something else in that company to show up? Even though you think you suck at some things, are you still being an inspiration for others? Being an inspiration, not by what you do. Right, wrong, or bad, podal natures, boys and beyonds. How are you guys?
We have a question in Russian chat.
Yes. Let me check where you are. There you are.
У меня уже этот Наталья, from Наталья Васильева.
Yes.
Наталья Васильева. У меня уже 3 вечера подряд дико болит горло, и я чувствую, даже не могу разговаривать, что мне мой голос хочет сказать, а я не слышу. 3 evening, I have a throat sore, and I feel and I cannot speak, and what my voice wants to tell me.
Did you ask who it belonged to?
Спрашивала ли ты, кому это принадлежит? I guess she quit, so maybe she will hear you answer.
Sorry, I hear you very badly. I quit? No.
No, she quit. Right now, I don't see her in the chat.
Oh, how does it get better?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with what your body is showing you, how often do we relate that it's like, oh, it's in the throat, so it should be something from the throat? What is it trying to tell me? What's going on actually? But what if it's just an energy? So now what is that energy? Who does it belong to? Right, wrong, or bad, podal natures, boys and beyonds. And these classes, like for the people who have been taking them, I think you all know, maybe it's one of these classes where you start choosing them, and then you choose them and you register, and then everything's like, often like everything starts showing up that tells you like, no, don't go there. And people will like take themselves out of class, and then they will choose it again. It's very funny. Like the moment you choose something, like now everything that's like in your worlds around that might start showing up, even on a free Zoom. So I'm so sorry. Not sorry. But if she comes back on, or if she listens to the recordings, start asking, who does this belong to? What is it? Puck and pot also everywhere, you have already decided that it's something that's wrong because it's not so comfortable. It's not because it's uncomfortable that something's wrong, unless you make it wrong. So what's right about that thing? Right, wrong, about podal natures, boys and beyonds. Is she back on or not, Olga? Nope.
No.
Okay.
Not.
She'll have to come to our class in Russia. Are there any other questions? It's now is the time. Now is the time. It's not a question. Now is the time.
Yes. The second question from Аксинья Васильева. У меня бывает, что когда я задаю вопросы Вселенной, у меня иногда пропадает голос, или горло сжимается, и мне трудно говорить. Что мой голос хочет сказать? Sometimes when I ask the universe, I just lose my voice, and my throat like really gets tiny, and it's really hard to talk. What my voice wants to tell me.
Yeah, is it done? Is like, are you also willing to receive when you ask the universe? Yes or no? What's her answer? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Okay, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking.
No.
No. Cool. Awesome. Right around your back. So what will it take for her to receive?
И ты готова получать?
Yeah. So that's a muscle you might want to start practicing for all of you. It's a muscle I practice a lot lately. By lowering the barrier. Oh, I'm going to mute you because like you're translating us, nature. I love hearing Russian, but it's a little confusing. So that's like a muscle you might want to start training, because like how many of us were really good at asking, and we ask and we ask and we ask, and the universe is like, I'm delivering, but you're not receiving actually. Or you're receiving like what you can control. How many of you only receive what you can control? Ooh. Right, nature is boys and beyonds. Yes. And this might be something your body is showing you. So how awesome if that's what is going on. And don't conclude it, just ask next time. Oh, I've been asking, and oh, it's like bodies, what is this? Is there something that I'm not willing to receive? And then you can also start looking, okay, so what if I would really just be present with this, lower my barriers? So you're going to start practicing receiving. Instead of closing yourself up, open yourself so you can receive. Open in your solar plexus, not by stretching, just by asking, okay, wow, and you can just ask that, all of you now, like, okay, so when it comes up to receiving, is there any place in my body that I close? Is there a particular place in my body where I do refusal of receiving? Funny question. Right, wrong, Bapok, Podol, nature, it's boys and beyonds. And what if you would start opening that place right now? Just expand it out in there. Might be your genitals, might be your stomach, might be your throat, might be your head, doesn't matter where it is. Right, wrong, Bapok, Podol, 90%. And everywhere you've learned that was a bad place, my butt. Yes, I had butt in my head. I was just like, I'm not going to say that one in this, like on a free Zoom. Selena. So everywhere you've maybe also like, so here somebody's asking, what about having thyroid issues? Is this related to not being able to speak or our truth? Well, you'll have to ask. Right, wrong, Bapok, Podol, nature, it's boys and beyonds. You'll have to ask the body, because like that issue might not even be that person's issue or your issue. So who does it belong to? That would really be my first question with whatever is going on in your body. Like, who does this belong to? Right, wrong, good, Bapok, Podol, nature, it's boys and beyonds. Are you coming to France for this class? Yes, I am. In November in Lyon, and we will also be in Brussels, which is not so far from France. There are many classes coming up actually. There is Russia in November, there is Slovenia in November, there is Greece one day in November. It's all November. No, October there is Brussels, which will also be translated into Dutch and French. So there are many possibilities. We will also send that out in the
Swiss.
Swiss?
Someone is asking for Swiss.
Oh, Swiss. What will it take? I was in Swiss.
Switzerland.
Well, Lyon is not so far from Swiss for now. So if you really want to do it quick, Swiss will be your first. And then Russia is like the beginning of November. So there are many possibilities. This class can also be taken online, and it's not less potent. So And there are many facilitators in the world, by the way. I'm not the only one. We have some intro and one-day facilitators on here as well that are translating. Sneza is a one-day facilitator, and Crystal is for the moment intro facilitator, I think. And I might be missing some other people. So there are many brilliant facilitators all over the world. So please, if you want to know more about Right Voice for You, check it out. rightvoiceforyou.com. So you can actually get more of that energy and more facilitators and see how they create with that class. Yeah. Is there anything else? Stephanie, I like this goal. It's like different. Oh, no, we weren't done with the bot thing there. So how many, that place that if you have that place where you stop receiving, or if you have many, or maybe you're like, oh my God, I everywhere I stop it. Is that a place where you have been judged for? Is that a place, for example, if you were a very beautiful kid, or people were jealous, or whatever has been projected on you, has that been causing you to wanting to change you so you didn't have to receive the judgments? Guess what? If you open up for receiving, everything will head your way. So also judgment. And that is also a big part in this class, where you'll start seeing what else is possible with judgment. If you were willing to truly receive everything without a point of view, even when it's super uncomfortable, because if you're in a room full of people that judge you, you might be very aware of that, and that might not be fun. But what if you never had to change yourself any longer, and you could be you? And you'll see that, we have Elliot, who's I don't know where you are, but you're awesome, just naked on our Zoom. I love it. How often, when you, and when you're sexy as a man or as a woman, now how many, people are going to want something from you? Wouldn't it be awesome? Oh, now my battery's going empty. This is horrendous preparation. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could always stay you, no matter what people think of you, no matter what people want from you? And you could just have the point of view like a little kid, yes, I'm so fucking sexy. Isn't that awesome? And I'm also intelligent, and I'm also super capable. And this is all I be. You might want to contract me in one thing, which is sexy, or which is I want to have sex with you, or if I think you're ugly or whatever. You might want to contract me in any kind of judgment. But you know what? That's just one part. Fine for you. This is me, and I'm not going to contract myself into your judgment to match your judgment. I'm just not doing that anymore. So everywhere you guys have been doing that, maybe a little, maybe a lot, maybe not at all, contract yourself to match other people's judgments. So you could be wrong, they could be right, or you could be right and they could be wrong. Can we destroy and create that? Right? Remember back of portal 9 charts, boys and beyonds. Cool. That's a cool energy. I Crystal just went upside down. Ding! This is what clearing does to you. Sometimes you just fall over. Down and out. Cool. Are there any other questions? If that's a yes, I have to get my battery. Any complaints, maybe?
And many from Aksiniya Vasilieva. Thank you very much. I really would like to be on your class.
Yes, Russia. Awesome.
Желаю попасть на ваш класс.
Very welcome. And it's so many things can shift in this class, not only your voice. Once you start being everything you are, what if you become actually unstoppable, but also what if you become that what everyone wants now? Right? Varga Bapok Photo Nature Roots Boys and Beyonds. What if, if you want to grow things, you can actually start growing your being? So you can receive more. which goes together with you will perceive more. But you can access also more knowing. So if you're up for more of that, I would say there is also a lot on my YouTube channel, actually, conversations and things about this that you can have a look at, that has some tools in there, some facilitation. Yeah, what else is possible? And is now the time? A lot of people are looking for consciousness. A lot of people are probably looking for what you know and nobody else knows. So everywhere you've been trying to do the same as everyone else, try to fit in. What if you could start fitting out, be different, and receive as you, with total potency, kindness, caring, vulnerability. Yeah. Nice energy. Can we have more of that, please? Yes, you can. Very welcome to. So dear people, I want to thank all the translators for being on tonight. Thank you so much. We will send an after mail with all the information. Feel free to join us on a class. There will probably be more telecalls in the future. So just stay up to date, and I hope to see you soon, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.